that a fun intro? Totally fun intro. I'm going to wait for everyone to join. Today we are picking up on our next segment of The Conscious Parent. We are talking all about emotions and our children. Getting us all set up. Thought that new intro was fun, right? Trying new things. Thank you so much for joining. There are so many names that came on. I missed you. So in Paradise, I see your name. Thank you for joining. So happy that you're here today. I'm wondering, where is everyone scoping in from? Me, I am in the beautiful Los Angeles area and really excited to be. Hi, I am Lovely 26. Thank you so much for joining. So glad that you are here. Brandy says, I love Conscious Parent, Dr. Shafali. Yes, isn't she great? Isn't the book awesome? I love sharing it. It's amazing. Hello in Paradise from Massachusetts. Woohoo, East Coast. You're on the other side of the United States. And oh yeah, Brandy, that's right. You're in NorCal, Napa. Great. I just moved down from San Francisco area, so am very familiar with that place. Love it. Absolutely love it. So a little bit about me, for those of you who don't know. Oh, hi, I am Lovely. I'm from Florida. Amazing. So warm there. DP Davis, welcome. Welcome from New Jersey. So glad to have you here. Brenda says, wow, I lived in LA. Yes, you know, NorCal, SoCal, they're both awesome places. Weather Anchor Mod, thanks so much for joining. I'm so glad you're joining from New York. I love that place. Love New York City. I lived there for a little bit. I've had the opportunity to live in a lot of cool places. Thank you in Paradise for inviting followers. Weather Anchor Mod, I really want to know your name. I am in Los Angeles, California. So thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles. Stacy Ann, great. I'd love to know names. I am Brooke. And so let me talk about that. You know, hi, my name is Brooke-Sidney, and my site and company is called Bella and the Babe, and it's all about empowering authentic mothering. And today we are going to be talking about chapter 5 in the Conscious Parenting. Weather Anchor Moss, Stacy, you've got to come. You've got to come visit. So today we are talking all about chapter 5. For those of you that were with me on, I think it was Thursday, we started talking about the beginning of chapter 5. And so what I decided to do this time is actually break up the chapters into more bite-sized pizzas, because honestly, this chapter and emotions is a really deep topic. Thanks so much for giving hearts. I really appreciate it. If something that I'm saying resonates with you, or even, especially with this stuff, makes you say, that's interesting, that's new, I hadn't thought of it that way, I'd love for you to give hearts, and you can do that by double tapping on the screen. And if there are parents in your life, moms, dads, even grandparents, I'm a mom, this is great, I'm so happy you're here. If there are people in your life that you think could benefit from learning about this, please share it with your followers, your Twitter friends, your folks on Facebook. But what we're going to do is we're going to hop on in, and if you have questions or thoughts or comments, please jump in. You don't have to reserve them until the end. So just to kind of bring people up to speed, last time we talked about what emotional messages are you sending to your children, and I gave a little quick background about conscious parenting. And it's essentially being aware of what you are bringing to the relationship and connection with your child. That's really what it is. To make sure that in all your interactions, you know as if you're coming with kind of a clean slate, or you know what you're bringing with you, so that you're not blaming it on other people and putting it onto your child. That's essentially what conscious parenting is in a nutshell. And how it's really different from a lot of different parenting philosophies is that it focuses a lot on the parent. So a lot of people will look at conscious parenting, especially as parents, and be like, wait, this is not fixing the behavior. This is not giving me strategies right now to fix the fact that my 2-year-old is rolling around the floor in the middle of Target. Hi, Sarah, thank you for joining. You know, it doesn't fix those things like that. This is not a quick fix philosophy. It is a philosophy that you invest in over time that brings about a better connection with your child. Whether Anchor Mom, I already forgot your name. I think it's Stacy. Sounds like my 2-year-old. Sounds like we have the same 2-year-old. Mine is almost 2 years old, and he's doing all the pre-2-year-old tantrums. So anyway, so that's really what consciously parenting is about. It's about growing as parents. It is about us becoming aware of our stuff so that we can develop better connections with our children. And we talked about briefly, I'm just doing a brief recap so everyone can be on board, is that our emotions are seen in our energy. She says, mine just turned 2, my 5-year-old has her moments. Oh my gosh, I know we have all so much to look for. There's interesting stuff, right, in every stage. So the other thing we learned last week was that emotions are unseen, right? They can be felt. They're in our energy pattern. So even when we think that we're not outwardly reacting, we can be carrying that around with us, and it works out in nonverbal communication where we feel it. Hi, Slatter Sony. Thank you for joining. So know that why we worry about, and worry is not the best word, why we're concerned about our emotions and our children is because sometimes we're carrying things that we don't even know that we're carrying, and because children can feel them even when we're not outwardly saying something is wrong. And we all know we've walked into a room that we felt weird energy. And then the last thing that we kind of discussed last week was the fact that we all have an emotional signature or imprint, meaning that when we were little kids, we learned from our own parents. We gathered and learned how to deal with emotions from how they dealt with emotions. We were all blank slates, just like our children are. They're like completely open and receptive to whatever we are putting out right now. And that is why it is so critical that we learn about our emotions, how to deal with them, especially as it comes to conscious parenting. Okay, so that was last week. And I just tried to whiz through that so that we would all be kind of in the same place when we jump into this week's segment, or today's segment, and that's basically, what are your children triggering in you? And there's basically 3 big points in this segment. And the first thing is dealing with our emotions. Now, most of us, that have children, or even people that don't have children, most of us walking around today, unless we made a concerted effort, no one taught us how to deal with our emotions. Thank you, Weathering Her Mom, for sharing. Most of us did not learn the best way to manage emotions, to even know what emotions we're feeling. A lot of times people don't even know why they're upset, right? And so one of the things that we can really do to help thank you, I Am Lovely, for inviting followers. The one thing that we can do to really help our relationships with our children is to actually learn to observe our emotions, honor them, sit with them, just let them be, right? We want to do this so that we can grow from them. We want to do this so that we are recognizing our feelings. No one taught us this, right? Like, unless you are in a certain field where you analyze emotions and feelings, or you've done some sort of counseling or therapy work, most people don't know how to cope with their emotions. So that's like the first thing. And I know we talked about it a little bit in the last session, but our emotions are triggered by something that is already residing in us. Dr. Shafali likes to call it a shadow. I think of it really simply as like something that usually can be buried, or it can be the flip side of not processing something that we've gone through in the past. So it's kind of like past things that we've dealt with. So it's important to recognize that a lot of times the emotions that we're experiencing and that may come up when we're dealing with our children are things that already reside in us. So we're really focusing on dealing with those emotions so we don't put them onto our little ones. So it's helpful to remember that you cannot be triggered to have an emotion if you didn't already have it inside of you. You cannot have an emotion that didn't already reside inside of you. So a lot of times people will blame their children, a spouse, an employer, whatever, and honestly, it wouldn't it wouldn't cause a reaction in you if it didn't already have a place in you. I hope that makes sense. It wouldn't cause a reaction in you if the emotion didn't already have a place in you. So so when you encounter a situation, a roadblock or a situation, what you want to say is, after you slow down and pause and try not to react, is, what do I feel like I am lacking? What am I lacking in this situation? What type of lack is this person, this situation, this obstacle bringing up for me? Those types of thoughts help us deal with our emotions. They really do. They really do. And they also help us to pause. Slatter Sony says, very true. Yes, it is. And it's honestly, all this that I'm saying is stuff that I work on. You know, it's not something that until you practice it and do it all the time, hi Burley 1901, that it often comes easily. It is a practice, right? Like, it is an in the moment, day by day practice. And we have these little people running around that give us awesome opportunities to continue to practice it on a daily basis. So again, when you encounter, hi Kimberly, thanks so much for joining. When you encounter a roadblock, a person, or a situation, instead of reacting to it, you want to pause and say, what do I perceive I am lacking? What part of me feels like I lack something? What is this? And again, think through, and wow, here comes the most difficult part, is when, after you go through this question and answer with yourself, you get to the space where you can say, wow, thank you for showing this to me, right? I think to me that was whoa. Thanking the situation or the obstacle for bringing up what you are lacking and honestly need to work through, right? So it actually, I feel like when we get to that place, when we get to that heart space where we can do that, wow, we've already grown a lot. So I think that that's deep, and I think that it's what a lot of people can work on, myself included. These are just practices, but when we get to the place where we can say, thank you for showing me that I feel like I'm lacking in this area, then we have really, really grown. So the second thing is that we want to discover our emotional inheritance. And Dr. Shefali says, the next time your children trigger a mood in you, instead of reacting out of frustration, sit with your reaction to see what the trigger is all about. And she's saying you're not looking for the cause of your mood. Again, you are really looking into this sense of lack, but in a bigger scope. You're looking to see what inside of me is being triggered to feel this way. You may not be able to answer the lack question. You might just wonder, you might start thinking about your past or your childhood, or even you might have had a bad day. Any of these things could have been triggered by a bad interaction or an obstacle or a situation at that moment. So to be triggered is to be in resistance to whatever may be happening in our lives. We are saying, I don't want this situation. I don't like the way things are, and I refuse to accept things as they are. So, it's easy to think about this because our ego wants things a certain way. Does this make sense, guys? Is any of this resonating with you? If so, give me hearts or let me know, in the chat box, if this even makes sense, or even if it sounds totally weird, right? If it seems no, this can't be the truth. So anyway, basically, when we are triggered by our emotions, there's a part of our ego saying, no, I wanted the situation to be a certain way, and it is not that way. And I don't like it. And I'm refusing to accept it the way that it is. So we want to shift that trigger, out of that place of refusing to accept things as they are. I Am Lovely says, yes, I agree. Yay, there's someone out there that's listening and it makes sense. Woohoo! So we want to basically get out of that egoic place. And Dr. Shefali talks about that a lot. We want to shift from being triggered place to being in a place of consciousness where as I explained before, it really means that we're being awake, that we're awake to our role in things and function in that place of awareness and not so much in reactivity and being triggered. So when we are able to shift from triggering by emotions to being aware of them into a fuller state of consciousness, we stop fighting what we want it to be and we accept what it is, right? She describes it in the book as having the mantra of, it is what it is. Now, I say that all the time when I'm driving in Los Angeles, but that's not what we're talking about here. Hi, Eclectic Mama. We're talking about in the moment when we feel ourselves being triggered, instead of being so resistant to what is happening, because that's basically what being triggered is. It's being resistant. We say, no, it's fine. It is what it is. And we allow ourselves to pause and think about what is causing us to feel this way, and instead react from a different space, or respond is a better way to put it. Respond from a different space rather than just reacting to what is going on. So it's really, really key to understand that resistance is our inability to accept our reality as it is right now. And staying in resistance keeps us stuck. It keeps us not understanding why our toddler is falling on the floor in Target, or and why we are, even more importantly, reacting to the way our toddler is flailing out on the Target floor, or it keeps us from not getting to the connection point with our teenager because we're still so angry at whatever happened that our teenager, like whether they were disrespectful, maybe in tone, I hear that all the time, or just upsetting, until we get to the point of it is what it is and flow from it, then we're going to stay stuck in that moment and not really able to get to the connection point. Hello, Ryan from Philadelphia. Yay! So glad to have a guy. Thanks for joining. So glad you're here. So, we want to respond to life and as it is what it is. Let's take this moment. Let's figure out why we're being triggered and pause and then respond and not react. And if we can do that with our emotions, with our children, guess what? I feel like the bonus is we're teaching our children to do the exact same things. Our little kids are like sponges. They're going to pick up on the way that we are responding to them, and they'll see how we manage our emotions. And that goes full circle back to the emotional imprint that we have and that we're giving them. So it's really, really important for us to think about these things, work on these things, and I think prioritize them in our daily interactions with our children. And luckily for all of us, we have plenty of opportunities to practice this with our kids. So anyway, that's what I had to share today. Let me just recap. So basically, when we're dealing with our emotions, we want to just pause, sit with them, observe them, honor them, and then we want to find out where they're coming from. Like, what do I perceive in myself, not our child, but in ourself that I'm lacking? And then we want to get out of the triggering mode. We want to get out of the, why am I being so resistant? And instead get into the receptive mode of, it is what it is. This is happening, may not like it, but this is happening right now. Let me accept it for what it is. And then once I'm able to accept it, I can then move into a place of responding from a clearer center. I now know why I'm reacting, and I'm not putting that stuff on my child. And then bonus, we teach our children how to respond to their emotions that way, because they pick it up. They see how we react. It's not always what we say. They see what we do. And when we don't get it right, we apologize. And we keep going on. We keep moving on. So, I love it that my affirmation and mantra is going to be, it is what it is. In the moment, it is what it is. Not to say we don't do anything about it, but it is what it is, and we're going to continue growing from it and becoming even more conscious, even more aware, and we're going to increase our connections with our children. So I hope that this has been helpful. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Have you had any of these experiences of learning how to, I am Lovely says, teach? Oh, thank you. Have you had any of these experiences with your children where you have actually kind of almost out of body been like, whoa, I don't know why I'm so upset? Or on the flip side, where you've taken some of these type of strategies or new ways of thinking and seen them at work. Like maybe you saw your, Eclectic Mom says, I'm sad I got here so late. Oh, I'm so glad that you joined. Feel free to watch the replay. I hope I catch you on another scope. I hope you follow me. If you're not following me, and for anybody else that's on the scope, if you're not following me, there's a little guy that's dressed in white, and you can click him, and then you'll become a follower, and then you can catch all of my other scopes, because I will be covering The Conscious Parent. This book is, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're following. Yeah, see, mine's all dog-eared, highlighted. It's all fun, but we'll be definitely covering The Conscious Parent. I also do a lot of periscopes about self-care, setting boundaries, connection with our children, having fun. I really want mamas to enjoy this motherhood journey because it's here for our taking. And we have been entrusted with these beautiful creatures that are our children. And so not only do we have a duty to them, but we have a duty to ourselves to grow and enjoy this journey. So that's what I'm all about. He says it's here and it's now. Exactly. Slatterson says, I already am too. I'm listening, just got home from work, so busy cooking. I love it. I'm so glad that you guys are jumping on. I love Periscope for the fact that we can just listen sometimes. I am Lovely says, yes, I have. With my 7-year-old, sometimes I have to take a step back and put myself in her place. Ooh, that is perfect, right? That is perfect. That's awesome. That is the awareness. You know, a lot of people think, they think of conscious parent and they think it might mean something else. And it really is just about being aware. It's just about knowing what's yours to own, knowing what you're bringing to each relationship. And honestly, it extends past our children. We can take the tools that we learn from The Conscious Parent and this philosophy into all of our relationships. Slatter says, I don't have any kids, but I am thinking about it. You know what? You sound like me. Before I had children, I was listening to all sorts of things that I thought could help me become a better parent. Eclectic Mom says, and you're broadcasting around the world. I'm in Japan. Oh my gosh. Oh, amazing. What time is it in Japan? Oh my goodness, what time is it there? That is so cool. Thanks, Candace Vinny, for joining. Oh, I'm so happy to see your name. Yeah, I wonder what time it is in Japan. I know there's a lag, but that's really cool. 8 in the morning, oh my goodness, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Los Angeles on the West Coast. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you're joining from Japan. So yes, the other great thing that I talk about often is Mama Community, September 15th. Yeah, you're a day ahead. That is crazy. That is crazy. But it's the beauty of the internet and the beauty of Candace says, hi, caught you live. Yes, Candace, I love you. You're so awesome for always supporting my scopes. You watch them on the replay. Mwah, mwah. I love you. I just want to say that. Thank you so much. Eclectic Mom says, yes, you are in the future. You are totally in the future. Oh my gosh. I wish you could tell me how the rest of the day goes, but no, you're in Japan. That is so, so cool. So I was just saying the other thing that is really awesome is that I talk a lot about Mama Community. And I have one, same here. I have one, so if anyone is looking for a mother community online for support, to dive in deeper to the Conscious Parenting book, or, to share resources, or just find some cool mama folks, please join mine. I am Lovely says you are. Oh, please go to, I left my sign, but it is bellaandthebabe.com/join. And that's Bella bellaandthebabe.com, which you can see in my Periscope bio, bellaandthebabe.com/join, and you'll be connected to my Facebook group. Give your email address, and then I know who you are, and I put you right in. So I would love for you all to connect with me there. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'm at Carmel Bella. And yeah, we'll be talking about some more fun emotions and parenting on my next scope. And I really enjoyed you all hopping into my scope, and I can't wait to talk to you again. I'm wishing you guys the best afternoon and evening and morning if you're in Japan. So take care, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.